and thank you for tuning by and taking a look at one of my first videos doing an introduction on some of the WoW content that's provided and been released for 7.3.5. This is just a little introductory to the Horde Allied races, kind of what they have, the abilities that they do, their starting quests and things like that. We certainly appreciate you guys stopping by, and of course, if this is something that you want, all positive feedback and negative feedback is welcomed, and hopefully we can make something work for you guys in regards to that. So just want to go over first the Nightborn. They give me Warrior, Hunter, Rogue, Priest, Mage, Warlock, and Monk. Makes it very good for the spellcasters as far as their racials go, and all the functionality that they have. And of course, you've got the High Mountain that could be Warriors, Hunters, Shamans, Monks, and Druids as well. But touching on the Nightborn, the reason why they're so good as casters is they actually have a couple different things that allow them to do it as far as be more effective. One of those racials we'll go over a little bit later, but let's look kind of at what the regards and what you can do with them. As far as their functionality, their appearances, so on and so forth that comes with it in the regards to that. We'll also touch on as well, it's not shown in the video, but how to do the quests in order to get to these. I'll put these up in a secondary video. Just wanted to touch on some of the more important stuff, the Nightborn, of course, show you some of the components that come with it, and of course, you know, just the overall look that you get with it. The customization, you got 3 different skin options that come with it. This is actually pretty limited in what you would expect with some new races to come out, and of course the skin colors limited in that regard as well when it comes to those things. You have, of course, your light blue, your dark blue, and then your kind of lighter white color. Not a lot of face options. They're all kind of shown as if they were withered at one point. A little scarring tissue, which is a cool little feature that they've added to this. More than anything else, but still, again, not a whole bunch of facial features that come into it. Hairstyles similar to the Night Elves in the regards to what you get. You've got some of the longer hair, of course, more of the elvish appeal to it, which goes into it as well, which is pretty interesting. Not a lot of hair colors either that go as well with it. Yeah, it doesn't vary too different from what you would expect on it, but of course, you still got some choices there. And then, of course, your tattoo styling that comes with it. You got 4 different variations. They come on the chest area, so if you ever decide to wear like a less equipped Mog, you can do that. The women Nightborn, little buff that comes with it, of course, nothing wrong with that. Same functionality as far as face, which you can get for the most part. They since they are, of course, highborn elves, they imitate a lot of what the Night Elves have as well when it comes to that, so very interesting. The best part, though, are the earrings. I think this is a feature that's going to be appreciated by a lot of people. You can adjust earrings. One that covers the full ear, makes them look like they have metallic ears, and then something a little bit more conservative. And same thing, you get a couple different tattoo options that come with it as well, but not a whole lot that goes into it. So I've made a couple characters already. We're going to take a look at them, and we'll go over kind of the basics of their abilities. And then we'll touch a little bit more on the starting quest. I'll show the starting quest after we show the legacy armor as well. So we'll go on it. Let this load in real quick. As you can see, I didn't really prepare to do a video per se, so I didn't have a chance to turn off all my add-ons and stuff, so apologize for the hecticness. So as you can see, the Night Elves, or excuse me, the Nightborn have larger shoulders similar to the Night Elves. They have the armor sets that make them look a little bit larger just because of the broad shoulders that they have, which makes their armor pieces look extremely big for the most part. Throws you off a little bit because when you look at the character from the front, they're very small. And of course, they do share the Night Elf dance. This was one of the most disappointing parts of it all. I was hoping they would have done something a little bit more creative, given that they've been separated for 10,000 years, but it is what it is. Now onto the abilities. The Arcane Pulse is the AoE that I was talking about. This actually allows you to do an AoE, and it also snares your opponent for 50% of his movement speed, which helps you out quite a bit when it comes to that. And then, of course, you have cantrips. This is a 1.5-minute mailbox that you can get. You can summon wherever. And gives you a little bit of ease and functionality if you ever have to mail anything to your alt. You don't have to use the mobile banking or any function like that. Of course, you've got your resistance, or excuse me, your inscription skill plus 15. You've got your increased spell damage by 1%, and then of course you've got the arcane resistance for 1%. Damage as well for 1%, which makes it extremely convenient. So very good in fighting casters and very good in the caster roles because it does give you that spell damage. Good for rogues as well because of the option of the poisons, which makes it extremely effective, I think, especially when you're talking about numbers at the end of the day. They'll be very good for PvP in some aspects. Very good if you're a warrior and trying to fight stealth classes to get them out. You have an additional function that comes with it if you're not playing Fury. And of course, more than anything else, you've got the ability to ride this really cool mana saber, which you actually get from doing the quest to unlock them. It's a little bit less extravagant than the mana saber that you get for the Arcanist, but still a little bit more armored, has some functionality that comes with it, and then anything else. So kind of recapping on it, what you get with the Nightborn is, of course, the 1% spell damage, the 1% arcane damage, the new mount, the inscription ability, and then the mailbox as well. And then, of course, you get the Heritage Nightborn armor. As you can see, that is pretty cool. It's a little bit more detailed. It's definitely very purple. So if you're not prepared for those colorations, I wouldn't be too hopeful for it. But once you unlock it on one character, you should be able to access your Heritage armor from all your other Nightborn classes that you make, or if you decide to boost in the future. Now, one thing to note too is if you do use a level 110 boost, you won't be able to actually get the Heritage armor because you have to level to 110 in order to secure that. So just a small thing. I know some people are boosting in order to try and get it, and that's actually not working currently. I don't know if Blizzard intends to hotfix this later to make that adjustment, but in its current state, you do have to level a character from 20 to 110, doing it through that. Now, how you decide to level them, whether it be recruiter friend or anything like that, is entirely up to you at the end of the day, but makes it extremely convenient for you when it comes to those things. One thing to note as well is that if you were to do this on your alliance factions as well, you'd have to follow the same steps that come with it when it comes to those things. So here's the video that goes into starting the zone, the starting area for the Nightborn rogues, or excuse me, Nightborn.
For 10,000 years, Suramar was the only world we knew. As the ages passed, Azeroth changed around us and fell into the Legion's grasp. To secure our people's future, you must help reclaim our place in Azeroth. Venture forth alongside new allies and show the world that the legacy of the Nightborn is one of nobility and strength. Aran Arcana. When our city faced its darkest hour, the heroes of Azeroth fought with us to drive out the Legion. Some did
I cannot
so
attack that target.
reluctantly. But the Sindorai, the Blood Elves, showed us respect and understanding. Their kinship proved there were others in Azeroth who share our values. Now it is our turn to demonstrate the strength and honor we bring to the Horde. Go to Orgrimmar, join with our allies, and forge a new future together. As you travel the roads of Azeroth, tell those you meet of the Nightborn's proud history, and show them that we live in seclusion no longer.
Speak quickly.
Ah,
Watch your
the young
back.
hero comes before me. I am told you show great promise. Let us hope these reports prove true. The Nightborn are a wise and powerful people. The ancient knowledge you possess will prove a great boon to our cause. The Horde has many rivals in this world. Some call us enemies, others call us outcasts. But we find strength in unity, and in defiance of those who would challenge our freedom. Rest assured, I will be taking note of your progress. As War Chief, I expect much of you, and I reward those who serve me well. Enough of these.
Now we get on to the High Mountain. High Mountain is pretty cool. I was actually really hesitant about playing them at first. Just because when you play the traditional Taurens, if you don't like the way that they feel, whether it be on the fact that they can't wear boots, or the fact that they don't seem to move very quickly, this was actually a very good surprise for me as well. In a lot of different ways that I typically dislike Tauren, they've seemed to have improved upon it. As you can see, the Tauren move a little bit. The High Mountain Tauren move a little bit faster. They've got a little bit more functionality that comes to them as far as making the appearance, and then of course you've got the ability like the Bull Rush that I just used. It's a nice ability because it allows you to stun people, of course, in front of you. It's a 1.5 second stun. You charge forward. You don't have to have anything targeted, which makes it real convenient to you if you're trying to hit something that's maybe stealth, which is another good thing that comes with it. Where their abilities kind of fall into it, though, and this is the best part, I think that you can appreciate the most, is more than anything else the Bull Rush that you get. Of course, the functionality, the 1% versatility, which for tanks or any verse-based classes, this is really strong. I think this ability will be abused more and more in arenas, which is weird to say that you'll see. I truly believe you'll see more Taurens in the PvP section, especially arena-related because of that. 1% is quite a bit, especially in arenas, since that's one of the stats that get mostly affected by it, which is awesome when it comes to that regard, because you don't typically see that many Tauren out there unless they're playing something like a Druid or something of that nature. You also get reduced damage. This is pretty cool because it minimizes the amount of damage that you take. It's a flat number, and of course it should increase as you level up. Once you hit 110 or 120 at that point, it'll be a much higher number. I don't know what that evaluation is based off of, but it's a pretty cool deal. And of course you get 15 additional mining points, so if you decide to mine with it. One of the largest disappointments, kind of like the Nightborn, is they didn't do anything with the dances. They didn't do anything to really make these characters different. They kind of homogenized them across the board as far as what defines them. Except for the armor sets actually look pretty cool with the adjusted horns that you can add. I went for the larger horns on this character just to see what it looked like. A lot of the armor sets don't hide the horns, which makes it stand out and gives it a unique appeal to it. Almost from a distance, it looks like they might be smoldering a little bit, which is cool. However, I don't know if this is a graphical bug or if this is just something Blizzard intended, but some of the sets actually hide the horns of the character and make it a little bit less obvious that you're a High Mountain Tauren at that point. Of course, there are some limitations that come to it as far as what you can look like to it, and I haven't gone any further to see if you can customize the horns outside of it to shave it down or hide the horns. But some sets do hide them, which if you like that appearance on the bigger scales looks awesome. But of course, if you enjoy the horns as well, as you can see, I've got the level 60 PvP armor on with Kel'Sarar on there as well to make it look a little bit less obvious. Of course, my horns are as big as the blades on the back, but makes it pretty interesting for the most part. One of the coolest things, though, with completing the quest on these new allied races are the mounts that you actually get with it. With, of course, the Nightborn, you get the Mana Saber, and of course, with the High Mountain, you get a Moose. Now, they didn't do a whole bunch to design or modify the Moose, unfortunately. They did add some, of course, the High Mountain attributes to it that come with it, but there's not a whole lot that goes into it. So the cool thing is similar to the High Mountain can be a few different classes: warriors, hunters, shamans, and druids, and monks. So they still have some of the cool functionality that comes with it. Of course, on the female side, you can still get large horns, face tattoos, the horn styles, which are exceptionally big or can be small if you choose to. And then, of course, your horn colors. There's not a whole lot of variation that goes into it. Hair, not a whole bunch. They make it very tribal-esque to kind of fit in. And, of course, the tattoos. You get a couple different tattoos with color variations that come to it. So you can be a little bit of everything. Males, the horns become a little bit bigger. The face, not a lot of change in the face. The horn styling, I think, is probably the best part about this, because you can be a large moose or be an Indian bull if you decide you want to, which gives you that option. And then, of course, the horn color, not too much that goes in it into those regards, but allows you to option some stuff as well with facial hair. And then, of course, your different coloring that comes to it. So there's a lot of cool stuff that goes to it. Like I had mentioned before, the moose comes out to it, and this is probably one of the coolest things about it for the mount collectors out there, because you get 2 free mounts. Well, 3 if you do the deluxe order, but you get 2 mounts basically for buying BFA with no additional effort that comes into it, which is always a plus. I think the moose is one of the cooler ones of the mounts that they came out with, and the variations they've made since the first moose that you've been able to get has been pretty cool. for that guard. As you can see, I forgot what it was at first. But the Moose High Mountain Thunder Hoof has some of the of course, appeal to it, the high mountain markings that come with it. And then, of course, anything else that goes to it acts and operates like a normal moose for the most part when it comes to those things. And then, of course, your horns lock up, so if you ever decide to, you can scare the heck out of people by running around as a big old moose that comes to that stuff. So just kind of recap on the High Mountain, the 1% versatility, the reduced damage taken, Bull Rush, which allows for the knockback, the Moose Mount, of course, and then, of course, your increased mining ability are all good functions that come with the High Mountain, which makes it a pretty cool choice if you decide to do it. I definitely will be playing with it and leveling up at least one warrior and one monk tank as a High Mountain to see if there's a noticeable difference that comes with it, or if there is a function that comes with it outside of that to it. So, kind of recap too, of course, the heritage armor that you get as well is an awesome section that makes it really nice. They've got very intricate armor for the heritage. Both male and female looks awesome as well. So there's not a lot of limitations that come to it. If you like that appeal, you like the tribal appeal, kind of the getting back to the roots of the Torn Way and appreciating all the aspects of the High Mountain. If you enjoyed it during Legion, this would definitely be a great choice as far as what you're looking at that comes with it as well, into those regards. I had to mute the sound, unfortunately, for this video. I was getting a lot of feedback on the mic for whatever reason, so I had to adjust the settings to it. So, going over it, there was this is the entry level High Mountain Tauren. They basically go over my High Mountain, talks about the time being ready for us to join the Alliance as a High Mountain Tauren, and gives you the option to basically go through, and then of course go through the portal so you can go to Orgrimmar, and of course meet your new allies by doing set a couple quests that come with it. Apologize again, the add-ons weren't disabled when I decided to shoot this video, so I apologize for that. Of course, I made a druid just to show you some of the forms as well, as kind of a cool option if you guys are considering race changing or looking at this as a way to go when it comes to it. So you speak with Mela, and you'll go through the portal. Actually, I couldn't help but select my Force of Nature there. Go through the portal. You'll be given a quest actually to follow Sylvanas' lead and execute quests and level for her, and she says that she'll be monitoring it for you when it comes to those things as well. So you see the different forms that you get. Of course, the High Mountain forms have the horns attached to them, which is pretty cool. The Boomkin still looks like a silly chicken, but you still got all the other options that come with it as well. So I think one of the coolest things about this, more than anything else, was the travel form. You actually turn into a moose, which makes it extremely cool. I know it's another moose, but for travel form sakes, it's something a little bit different and a little bit of variety that comes to it if you wanted to. I don't know if you can glyph out of that like you can with the other druids. Again, just looking at the horns, the styling is the same for the most part. You just get the addition of the horns, and of course the bear with the horns. As silly as it looks, is pretty entertaining from that standpoint. But that's it. Thank you for stopping by and taking a look, and I definitely appreciate you guys viewing the video. And if you like, subscribe and feel free to follow. I'm definitely going to try and improve upon what I've built and see if I can make more and more videos. So if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them down in the box below, and just let me know. And of course, if you enjoy the content, feel free to go ahead and click that subscribe button. We'll hope to see you guys soon, and this is Feeds Titan checking out.